Welcome to the Church Sound Podcast, part of the Repurpose Network, where kingdom culture, real life, and technology intersect. I'm your host, Prentiss Thompson, and what we do, we talk to real people, pastors, leaders, engineers, tech people, manufacturers, worship leaders, all about church, technology, and provide solutions for a successful Sunday morning service. You ready? It's time to take a ride. Let's go. Yes. Welcome to another edition of the Church Sound Podcast. I'm your humble host, Mr. Prentiss Thompson. Yes, I am him. I'm your humble host, Mr. Prentiss Thompson, here to make sure that you're getting everything you need. Welcome to the Church Sound Podcast, where we make sure that you're getting practical information that's applicable on the day you hear it. Not next week, but today. Everything I'm saying, you can apply it. As always, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate the love, all of the downloads. We're in over 48 countries, which is amazing. It's good to be back, good to be here, sharing with you, building with you. Why don't you like, subscribe, review, and share? Do that. Send this to your pastor, send this to your team. Send the show link to your team, because there's over 300 episodes, which means it's a great informational tool for your team. Another thing I want to say is that we have a free podcast course on the Church Sound Podcast YouTube channel. It's going to be a link in the bio, in the notes. Make sure you go there. It's amazing. Five courses. They're about 15 to 20 minutes long, but it'll give you step by step in how to get to have a better podcast for your church. We're diving into number 3 of the top 5 mistakes churches make with audio and how to fix them. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned engineer. It doesn't matter if you're a volunteer. It doesn't matter if you're a pastor trying to get a better sound for your church. This is directly for you. Now, just to recap, in part 1, we talked about poor microphone placement, where we talked about how it is important to make sure the microphone's in the correct place and make sure you're using the right microphone. In the second iteration of this, we talked about ignoring room acoustics, how you should really think about analyzing your room acoustics, which then could help you with your problems in your room. Because a lot of times, if you solve the problem in the room, you can solve the problem with your system. Today, we're going to talk about overloading the mix. Now, I get this question a lot, especially when I have young engineers who are kind of watching me mix for the first time. They're trying to understand exactly what I do. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if you've gone to a church where everything is loud. It's so loud, you can't tell you can't isolate anything. It's just loud, or it's just crowded, where it's too many instruments, too many vocals at high levels, and it will just bleed your ears, and your listeners and your parishioners will be sitting there covering their ears because it's just loud and you can't tell what it is. You see a guitar on the stage, but you can't really hear a guitar. You kind of hear the lead singer, but they're singing. The background is so loud, but the lead, you really can't tell. The announcements come up. It's just a lot going on at the same time, and you're trying to make sense of it. Listening, you're trying to make sense of it. So, if that's you, this is for you. I'm going to give you 5 steps. 5 steps to help you fix this problem. Now, there's a word that we use a lot called prioritize. Prioritize the main element. That's the first thing you have to do. What I do when I'm mixing, I want the people in the crowd to hear what they see. You understand what I'm saying? To hear what they see. If they see two guitar players, they should hear two guitar players. If they hear 8 singers, they should hear 8 singers. If they're looking on the stage and they hear drums and percussion, they should hear drums and percussion. This is the key. Where is the head of the snake? So you have to identify the key focus, lead vocal, sermon, and build around that. Now you may say, well, lead singers change every song. If you heard of a thing called, sound check, which is where you get to go through all of these things and figure it out in sound check. Now, what I'm doing sound check, I'm listening for, especially vocals, I'm listening for texture. I'm listening for who has the lead and who has the melody when the lead drops out to lead. Or is the song hook, melody, lead driven? Because sometimes there's no riffing going on. It's just slight little changes happening around the main hook melody. Sometimes they deviate. However, there's normally someone or one or two that is carrying that same root note in the chorus. I'm trying to identify which voice helps that lead voice be supported. Do they match the texture of the lead vocalist? If not, how can I place this melody underneath the lead vocal? How many parts of harmony and who has it? Sometimes you have an alto singing a tenor part. Sometimes you have a tenor singing an alto part. Sometimes they switch in songs. You have to be aware to prioritize the element that makes that song, not the entire service, that section of the song or song focus on the lead portion, because every pyramid has a point. Everything else goes around it. Like a triangle, everything else goes around it. Then you're looking at not only vocal texture, you're looking at instrumentational texture. What do I mean by that? I mean that, okay, so in song 1, the keyboard player is playing piano with strings, and he's running tracks that has maybe an acoustic guitar and maybe a synth sound. Now, how does that fit into his package, his or her package? How does that fit into the elements of the song? That's going to filter around this lead vocal. Is the keyboard player playing the melody along with the song, or is it just chords and pads and a couple of lead lines here? Is the guitar player support, rhythm, or melody? Is it acoustic? Is it electric? Is your bass a 4-string, 5-string, 6-string? Is your drummer a striker or a wrist guy or girl? You have to determine those things, because then we get into dynamics. Number two, you have to use what we call subtractive EQ. What does that mean? That means you remove the unnecessary frequencies from each channel to create space. Creating space is creating frequency space. For instance, if I was standing on a square, just me, can someone else stand on the square with me? They would have to step on me to stand on the square, right? They would have to step on my foot to stand on the square. It's the same thing. If you have if in this song you have a distorted guitar, and you know that thing is like all up in that soprano range, but what do you have to do? You have to find that frequency that is competing with that vocal part and scoop out that frequency, just like scooping out some flour out of a bowl, and it leaves a dent. That's called subtractive EQ. Now you have to do this for each channel. You should have high pass filter on every microphone channel. It's without fail, because there's nothing down there. That's called subtractive EQ. Now, when you do that, what you're doing is you're creating space for everything else to live. Because you can hear the parts. Number three, you can control the dynamics by adding compression to maintain the consistent levels without it being overpowering. You can adjust your compression based on the channel, not everything. What do I mean by that? You may have a really loud singer that will bust a gate open if you don't control it. You may have someone that needs a little bit of compression and a little gain from the compression to able to match vocalist number two. You dig what I'm saying? These are. It kind of goes back to the first point, to prioritizing your elements. Learning to prioritizing your elements goes into subtractive EQ, goes into controlling your dynamics. Number four, create group channels. Use subgroups for similar instruments, for vocals. What that does, especially for novice, new volunteers, it simplifies mixing. They're not grabbing everything. They can bring down a group. For instance, if the drummer's too loud, you can bring the drum down. You need the drums to come up, you can bring the drums up. You need to bring all the vocals up, you can bring all the vocals up. This makes it easier to do, easier to mix. The key thing is to have the right things in the right group, because I've seen that where someone has come and put something in a group that doesn't belong in a group. So make sure that it is labeled your keys, guitars, your bass, your drums, your vocals. All of them are separated. A lot of times what I'll do is, and then on top of that, I'll have the subs go into a bus, because I don't want everything going to that sub. I want the kick drum, I want the bass, I want some of the keys. I may want playback from Pro Presenter or something like that, but everything does not need to go to the sub. What does that mean? That means it's not going to be muddy there. Anything that's there, I put it there. So this way, we can control how much bass is in the room, and two, what is going through that bass channel. We need more, we can bump it up. We need less, we can bring it back, right? Number five is this. When it comes to overloading your mix, perform detailed sound checks. I've said this a million times. I've gone to so many churches where they don't even have a sound check. They just wing it. Kind of like the analogy I gave in the first iteration of this series. It's kind of like throwing every ingredient in the pan and throw it in the oven and hoping that it's going to taste good. You have to have regularly rehearse and adjust levels during sound check to achieve balance. You've probably heard this phrase before. Practice makes perfect. And I would change that. Practice makes prepared. Let me tell you something. When you're in sound check and you nailed your sound check, you got everything in the right place, you know where everything's going to happen. If something was to go wrong, I guarantee you can find it a lot quicker because you went, oh, that's the different part of this song. Oh, that's this part. Oh, that's that part. Oh, I see what's happening. Their mic's not at their mouth. Or, all of these things happen in sound check. All of the balance, the leveling, the adjustments happen in sound check, from song to song to the sermon. Your pastor should check his mic. Your pastor, I'm going to say it again, pastors, you should come in and check your mic. I don't care. You do it every Sunday. So what? You want to make sure that it's right. They want to make sure that it's right because you know what? Your voice may be hoarse. You know what? Your lavalier may be in the wrong place. You know what? Your headset may be slipping off. You know what? You may have grabbed the wrong microphone. Guess what? You have probably not even turned on the microphone. All of these things are things that will go wrong. Preparing is everything. So once you do that, now your mix is not going to be crowded. If I had to add a 6th point, I would say this. Engineers, listen to music. Not just praise and worship, not just choirs. Listen to folk music. Listen to country music. Listen to rap music. Pick what you can listen to. I'll say that. Listen to R&B music. Listen to bluegrass. Listen to house music. Listen to Afrobeat, Afro. Listen to all of it. You know why? Because then you start to build a musical vocabulary where you'll start to understand instrumentation, where your overcrowded mix will not be overcrowded because you understand instruments. You understand where a mandolin is. You understand where a banjo lives. You understand where acoustic guitar lives. You understand where a Fender lives. You'll understand where a Strat lives. You'll understand where a Les Paul lives. You'll understand texture. You'll understand a 5-string to a 4-string to a custom jazz. You'll be able to tell. The deeper your vocabulary of musical instruments and songs and types of songs will change your mixing. So don't be afraid just to listen. When my son was very, very young and he wanted to be a musician and he would see me producing records and being in the studio, things of that nature. We would sit in the car, I would tell him to close his eyes and I would play any song and I would ask him, what do you hear? What's this sound you hear that's doing this melody? And if you couldn't tell, I say, no, that's this instrument. Really, Dad? Yeah, let's go isolate that. You just find it on YouTube to see. What's that? Oh, that's a shaker. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a hand shaker. What's that? Oh, that's a tambourine. What kind of tambourine? Oh, that's a timbali. Really? Is that conga or bongo? What is that? The more knowledge you have about instrumentation, because you got to understand, you're mixing music and spoken word. You're mixing music, singing, and spoken word. That's Sunday morning service. In order to master that, you have to master the listening portion. And this way, your overcrowded mix will not exist. So listen, before I get out of here, what I'd like you to do is to like, subscribe, review, and share, because that would really, really help. And share this with your media team. Share this with your pastor, your leaders. If you have questions, you have a question you'd like me to answer or a topic you'd like me to broach, email us at thechurchsoundpodcast@gmail.com. Go to the website, Church Sound Podcast. Go to the YouTube channel. There's plenty of information there. Go listen to the other 300 episodes. Catch up. There's so much information. I had so many guests on. And I think that will be impactful for you. I know that what I'm telling you is important because it's coming through me to you. It's coming through me to you from his knowledge and from my experience that he's given me to share with you, to empower you, to make sure that your church service is 3 words: amazing. Just remember that good sound isn't just about technology. It's about creating an environment where people can connect with God and others without distractions. Hey, I say it like I always say, keep God first in everything you do, and I will see you next time on the Church Sound Podcast. God bless.